who attended today's rally on the grounds of the Cabinet House.
Good to see democracy at work. I'm concerned, as I just told the council here, I don't care whether those guys are guilty or innocent. I don't even care whether Dr. Brown wishes to thumb his nose at Government House. I don't even care if God speaks to him and says this is a very good philanthropic Christian thing to do. What is true is that all this bad advertising all over the world is putting our economic future in jeopardy. My children, my grandchildren, by this bad advertising. Everything that I've seen in politics and in business that was a good idea but blew up in everyone's face, you know why? They rushed it, consulted with no one. That's what the Premier has done. He has rushed into something without thinking about it. He didn't wear his other hat and say, Minister of Tourism, is this good for tourism? So I'm saying people are upset, not about rights or wrongs or anything else. They're just saying, is this good for our economic future? And the answer is clearly no.
I don't agree with much of that, but I have to say this. You can't ignore the size of the crowd and the sentiment of the crowd. I have supported Dr. Brown in his actions. My view is that you test Whitehall as often as possible. I'm an independent. I think you test them. Our friends in the U.S. have backed us. I think Whitehall is too far away to govern here. I do think, however, we have to listen to the voices of this huge crowd of people that have shown up here today. But at the moment, I still back the Premier. I back him, right? And I think he should always be testing the Whitehall relationship. If we're going to move to that position of independence, we have to take the initiative whenever we can.
Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm fighting for the future for my baby. I want my baby to have a democratic country to live in the future. And that's what I'm here for.
I had a problem with the decision in the beginning when I didn't understand it, but I was ignorant to the fact. Now that the issues have been laid on the table, more understanding has been put to it, now I know. And now I support it and I stand by its decision. This is Bemruda. Our hearts have always been welcoming other people. God said, open your doors to your neighbors, open the doors to the foreigners. Let them in. That's what we did. That's what we did. People are coming up to that with their own conclusions for that. But to each his own.
I think it was a big demonstration of how people felt from being left out of the process. However, I do understand a little bit more now about the terms that the Americans dictated to the Bermuda government. In other words, they were worried about their security issues, and they put such a heavy regime on the requirements of what we had to do that basically Bermuda people and the British government were left out of the whole process. And there was a consequence, and you're seeing that consequence today.
Oh, you know, on the one hand, I think you have to acknowledge it was an exercise in democracy, but I think it also reflects some of the trends we've seen since 1998. You know, with this group of people, 90% of them were white Bermudians. My opinion, they just have not adjusted to the new Bermuda. And they always come down on, with respect to whether it's the statue of Sally Bassett, which was right there, the one-man, one-vote issue, the extending of permanent residency to a number of long-term residents in the country. It's quite clear, the same mantra is always repeated. We don't disagree with the end result of the decision, we just didn't like the process.
But they have made it clear that this is not about race, it's about how the thing was handled.
Look, they can say what they want. The fact that Bermuda's going to see here that 90% of the people that were here were rather affluent white Bermudians. They will also know, Bermudians are not stupid, the majority of them, that the majority of support for the United Bermuda Party comes from that same community. And so whether we like to acknowledge it or not, race does matter in Bermuda, and we saw another manifestation of it.
Let's now join Earl Basin with tonight's sports report.